Ozone air purifiers, are they dangerous or are they safe? The answer is really both. And it all goes back to the big ozone controversy that started in 2005. This is when the sharper image ionic breeze was on infomercials across the country, and they got blasted by Consumer Reports. They had an article which talked about that their air purifier produced 150 to 300 parts per billion of ozone, which is a higher than safe level of ozone. And of course this led to the removal of this infomercial from television, and it was replaced by the highly successful Oreck XL air purifier, which is the big one right now, which is a very overpriced electrostatic air purifier. It's actually not that much different than the ionic breeze, except it's got a fan in it, and it doesn't produce as much ozone as the ionic breeze did, which is at a dangerous level. The other thing somewhat deceptive about the Oreck is they have there is a filter you have to change. They claim you'd never have to change the filter. You don't need replacement filters. But every 3 months you got to spend $50 to get a charcoal odor absorber. It's basically a charcoal filter. They're just calling it an odor absorber so they don't have to, so they can claim you never have to change the filter. So it's a little deceptive in their marketing. So, but back to ozone. What exactly is ozone? Well, it's simply an oxygen molecule, which is O2, is what we breathe, that's got an extra molecule or atom added to it. So it's now O3. And this extra atom is very unstable, and it'll attach itself to pollution and other pollutants like odor especially. It's very effective on odor, and some viruses, some bacteria, etc. And so it'll attach itself to that, render it harmless, and then basically have ozone left over. So that's basically what ozone is. So now back to whether ozone is bad or not. Well, there's a standard, safe standard, the EPA set, which is 80 parts per billion over 8 hours. Anything over 100 parts per billion can irritate or injure the nose or lungs. And that's where, in like cities, when it's the middle of summer and it's really hot, you might get high ozone warnings because it's something created by the sun with UV rays. And so even air purifiers that claim no ozone produce ozone, because if they have a UV light in them or they have a fan, they produce ozone. And laser printers produce ozone, computers do, televisions do, most electric motors and a lot of appliances produce ozone as well. So ozone isn't all bad, and we can't escape ozone, and it actually protects us from the sun. So it's not all bad. It's just a matter of how high the level of it. So it's a little like the sun. A little sun is good. Too much sun can hurt you. We need the sun to survive. We actually need ozone to survive. But high concentrations can negatively affect your health. Ozone is good. Well, it's simply oxygen. And after a thunderstorm, thunder actually produces ozone. That's why the air smells really fresh sometimes. It's nature's way of naturally purifying and cleaning the air. If you've got a purifier that has on-off ozone, you can shut the door and treat the room for a while. Or if you've got a ozone production machine or purifier, you can do the same. You just have to go in and shut it off later and let the room kind of air out a little bit. And it is effective. It's probably the most effective on odor. And it's somewhat effective on bacteria, viruses, some pollutants, and some chemicals. So is ozone the best kind of air purifier? I wouldn't say so. It's good for some things. If you're trying to really purify a room, kill off odor, it's very good. Some pollution, chemicals. So for treatment, it's effective, very effective. I like having it. But if you've got allergies and you want to clean the room, now ozone will go out and purify the room and put out into the air things that will take care of odor. HEPA, on the other hand, will have to draw air through the purifier, but it's by far the most effective at dust, hair, and pollen. So anybody with allergies, you want to get a HEPA filter. Ozone is really not very effective at that. It has nothing to collect, and it doesn't collect dust, hair, pollen, etc. And then if you want to sanitize a room, like you're looking to protect the immune system against germs, bacteria, viruses, colds, flu, etc., you really want UV. So is it the best? It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish in the room. And so is it dangerous or safe? Well, it really depends on the level. So if you've got timed ozone and you want to just treat a room, it can be very safe. What you want to do is just avoid high exposure, high levels of ozone. And then you also want to avoid it if you have any kind of lung condition. So even while I had asthma growing up, I had an ozone purifier, which I loved using in the room to treat the room. I would just stay out of it when I was treating the room. So finally, to find affordable 7 and 9 stage air purifiers that include HEPA and UV and safe timed ozone for times you want to treat the room, you might want to take a look at the airpodcleaner.com at www.airpodcleaner.com. And the AirPod Cleaner models, they have HEPA and UV and TiO2, and they have on-off activated oxygen, or some of their models do. And you'll notice that even though they have twice the technology, they're often half the price of the Ionic, Oreck, Blue Air, Sharp, and most of the models on the market. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that cleared up some of the confusion about ozone, because I know most consumers don't really know what the problem is.